So now I'll show you how to install Kali Linux as a virtual machine inside VMware. I'm going to be using the ISO image, which I downloaded already from this link. So download that, install VMware or VirtualBox. Installation is simple, as I said, and the process of installing Kali Linux on either VMware or VirtualBox is the same. It's also the same process if you want to install it with Windows as dial boot, for example, but just make sure you don't overwrite the Windows files when you install it as dial boot. But when you install as a virtual machine, there's no way you can mess up your other installations, because everything is going to be installed on virtual physical on virtual hardware. So you're going to have virtual RAM, virtual hard drive, virtual everything, which basically means if anything goes wrong within your virtual machine, it will not affect your main machine. So the first thing I'm going to do is run VMware. And now I'm going to go on create a new virtual machine here. If you have the image burned on a CD, you can select it from this option, or you can use the use ISO image, which is what we downloaded. And I just have it here in downloads, and you can see here it's Kali Linux. So I'm going to open that. I'm going to click on next. Now it already knew it's a Linux, but it thought it's Ubuntu, and I'm going to change that to Debian because it's Kali Linux is built on Debian. So you see here you have Debian 64 bits. I'm going to go next, and then I'm going to call it Kali 1.1.0a. Now that's just the name of the machine, and I'm going to click next. Now it's telling me how much the hard drive should be. So it's already putting it as 20 gigabytes, and I think that's enough, so I'm just going to leave it the way it is. So this is the virtual hard drive that that's we're going to use to install Kali Linux on. So I'll click next, and then we can see here that's all the configurations that we chose. I'm going to modify this, so I'm going to customize, and I'm going to increase the amount of RAM to 1 gigabyte. Now you can increase this to whatever you want. You can also modify a few things here. You can modify the networking, you can modify the processors, all the resources that will be available to the virtual machine. So I changed that to 1 gigabyte here, and you have the network as NAT. I'm going to leave it the way it is, and I'm going to click on finish and close that. And now it's going to automatically boot the new virtual machine that we made, and it's gonna boot it from the ISO image that we picked. Now you can use the live the live option, basically just to boot into Kali, but it's gonna give you a functional Kali operating system, but anything you do on that operating system, it will be deleted the next time you boot the system. So it's basically just to see what the operating system is like, what tools are available on it. So I'm going to go down to the graphical install option. And this will basically allow me to install Kali Linux on the virtual hard drive. So it's asking me to select the language, and I'm going to keep it